All right, welcome to today's episode. Today we're going to be talking about marketing on a limited budget. As we know, most small businesses in the local area don't have unlimited funds for budgeting. So when you do start marketing, you want to make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck. So today we're going to talk about how do you do that? How do you get the best bang for your buck for your marketing dollars? So we're going to talk about a few things today. We're going to talk about why it's important to define your service area. Where do you allocate your budget? What services, things like that. How do you differentiate yourself from the competition? We're going to go into a little bit about understanding user intent, your visitor intent, what they're looking for when they come to you. And then we're going to talk a little about asking for the sales and calls to action, mostly as it pertains to digital marketing. So first thing on our list today is, well, if you have a limited budget, why is it important to define your service area? And we find that as we sat down and talked about what we do for our clients and how we get the best bang for their buck, this is one of the top things we came up to, and it's really defining your service area, defining where it is that you do your service. Are you in a big metro area? Do you need the entire metro area of New York City, or can you make really good money just in Brooklyn or different parts of Chicago or where we're at in Minneapolis? There's all these different suburbs around it, and you really want to define where you're at, because when that comes to marketing, the larger you go, the more money it's going to cost. So the first thing we're going to talk about is SEO. So why does it matter if you're shrinking in your demographic or your geographic region when you're talking about SEO? And a lot of that has to do with the larger you go with SEO, the more pages you need to create for each service, the more information you need to put out there, the more you got to pay your SEO guy every single month. So defining where you're at in the geographic region you want to be in is what's going to kind of get your best bang for your buck. Plus, if you're marketing to people who are just down the street from you, they're probably more apt to buy because they're looking for somebody. Maybe you're an accountant, maybe you're a roofer, maybe you're a chiropractor. They don't want to have someone from an hour away to buy from, right? Right. So if we can shrink that in a little bit, and it's gonna really decrease the amount of money you need to spend on SEO just by shrinking in your geographic region. And then the same thing is true for paid ads. And Jerhad, you're a paid media specialist here, and you could probably talk a little bit how much this affects the paid ad.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really the beauty of the paid ad, is that you have the opportunity to say specifically where you want to show your service. So part of this defining is, once you've defined where you want your services to be or where you want to perform your services, you can run ads to people that are only in that location. And with paid, you have a variety of ways to do that. You can do it with people who live in the area, people who frequently go to the area, or you can even do it with people whose phones are in that area, like right now. So depending on what type of service you offer, you might want to choose one of those styles. But yeah, based on your service area, pay-per-click gives you, in my opinion, one of the best opportunities to pay to find your customer. So then it just kind of comes up to delivering the right message and tying that into the service you offer. Along with that, within your specific area, another thing you want to, this kind of goes in with the pay-per-click, but it's also standalone, is more of your demographic. So what are the types of demographics that you're looking for? Is there an income level that you're looking for? Are you looking for people that are primarily in a family, or people who rent or own homes? So those are things to think about. You do want to look at the demographics of the people that your business services and make sure that your service area lines up with those demographics.
Yeah. Another reason it's important to kind of reel in that geographic region just comes down to profit. I mean, it comes down to, that's why you're in business to begin with, right? So this is more pertains particularly to those who are rolling vans or service trucks or things down the road. If you can find enough customers to keep yourself busy and make money in a tighter region, you're spending a lot less time on yourself, your employees, and other people driving an hour for a job. Yep. if you bring that in, especially for a lot of these people, if you're on this tight of a budget, you're probably one of the only ones in the company. You have to be the guy out making the money too. So if you have to commute each way, an hour each way to a job, that's time you could be spent as billable time or time you could be spending with your family. So if you're in a region that's large enough to where you can make all your money as tight as you can to your home office or your office building or whatever it might be, that all is profit. For two reasons. One, you're going to spend less to find that customer who's closer to you, and you're going to spend less getting to and from your jobs. And that may not be as applicable to people who have a set location, like if you're a dentist or a chiropractor or something like that. Like maybe you don't make more money, but that you might still spend less. There's enough people with teeth in your neighborhood that might still come visit you, right? So that's why we think if you not only spending less, if you're on a tight budget, you can make more money by really defining your geographic region that you're in overall at the end of the year or at the end of the month. And another thing with tightening things up, you might have a better idea who your competition is. Because when you're trying to get really large, right, Nick? If you're trying to get really large,
if you're trying to get larger, you're just increasing your competition.
Yeah.
We see it all the time. We see, we have a client come to us that's in a suburb of a large city, and they're seeing, well, I've got this population here, but look right next door. I've got all these people, but you also have 10 times more competitors. And everybody in the surrounding suburbs is thinking the exact same thing. They're thinking, I want to get in this city, I want to do that. So increasing your competition, but as you stay in your area, you're also increasing your conversion rate. You mentioned this before. Someone comes to you, maybe you're marketing in the city next to you. So that person clicks on your ad. You're spending money to get that ad. Someone's coming to you and they go, okay, this person does service my location, but they're from the city next to me. They're not as likely to click and get a bid from you as they are the other competitor, because maybe they want somebody in their own city. And when you're on a tight budget, conversion rate is everything. The more you can increase that conversion rate, the more that budget's going to go, the more you can stick back in and increase. So everything you can do to get that conversion rate higher, and that's why you should really focus that in on one area.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Near Me, the local marketing podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be back next time with more information for your company to succeed.